Welcome back, Cupcake Kitten viewers. This is Cupcake Kitten with my lovely assistant, Sinon. So we are continuing making her outfit. So I finished hemming up the edges of the vest, the top part of her coat. And all I did was lay down the fabric, flatten the floor, cut out a diamond shape for the upper portion so we get this section right there of her outfit done, because she does have like a little cutout. And I just took a straight piece of fabric, added it to the top, so we got that little bit of a collar she also has on it. So that part is kind of done. There will be, of course, obviously little gold trim eventually that goes all around that I'll be adding onto it. The next thing I started making was the bottom part of her coat jacket. And so as you can see, it's just open in the center, and it just has two long straps that would hang down, obviously, if they weren't flowing as they are on the figure. So what I did with my green fabric is I just laid it out on the floor, and I took my pencil and I just traced a line, put a square going down, made like a box shape, and so I ended up with that. So, and I left plenty of space to hem in the edges. So what I kind of did was I folded it in half, originally the fabric, and cut it out. And what I did when I laid it down on the floor, everything, I laid the vest part originally down on the ground, and I used that to know how long to make the bottom part, because I wanted to match it up with the bottom portion of the vest, so that when I sew it all together, I know it's not going to be too short, too long, it's all going to even out together. So the next thing we're just going to have to do then is attach the bottom portion to the top portion. So we're just going to obviously get some of our pins out and start attaching it together. Like I said, I'm not going to do super detailed videos on this because one, there's a lot of trial and error involved when I do this, and I will straight up say I did have to do this twice because originally I cut the flowing parts. I felt like way too thin for me to be able to hem them in properly and yet have the look that would match the character's outfit. So I'll pause for a second as I just pin it all together for you guys. Alright, so finished pinning it all together. So basically taking edges, putting them together at the top and the bottom. And so then, as you can see, it all becomes one giant long piece. And we'll show you how it looks on real quick. So you can see we are getting the look of her outfit. Got the cutout part for the back side. Got the long flowing sides. We have where it goes up into the vest area. All the collar. It makes that, it's a diamond shape that her outfit will have. So far it's coming together, I think, somewhat similar to how it looks for her. So I got this. So next thing then, of course, will just be to sew where we pin the two sides together, and then I'll also be taking like the edges all the way around, folding that down, pinning it, and sewing that as well, so we get a nice clean edge where it doesn't look all spiky and frayish anymore. So I am going to pause again and go to my sewing machine, sew it together, because otherwise that will be too boring to watch that whole process. Alright, so I finished sewing that out together. So as I said, it is now one nice solid long piece of an outfit. I would always say cut too long, cut too wide initially, because if you need something to be smaller, you can make it smaller if you go too big. If you go too small to begin with, you can't make something bigger. So like the back part of the coat, for how far down this goes before it opens up to that gap in the back, it seems like I have the fabric hanging down way too long, so I'm just gonna cut that and readjust it. Now I figured out, it's just when you put it on, you can tell if it looks kind of like that would or not. So I cut it too far down originally. It needs to be a little bit higher up, but like I said, I can adjust that. But if I had cut way too high up initially and I need it to be lower, can't really fix that. So that's one tip I always say. Go too long, too wide, whatever initially, and you can always readjust to make smaller, but you can't go from smaller to bigger really. And then I also started working on doing the shorts of hers again, her black shorts. What I did was I went to my local craft store, bought McCall's short pattern, where I am using style A to try to make it. So I just basically take the pattern out, follow the instructions it comes with. So it's like you get a pattern, you get the back side of the shorts, front side of the shorts, you lay down the patterns on your fabric and you just cut around the edges of the pattern, and then you sew all the pieces together, sew it together. So kind of got that started. So there's the shorts in progress. I already cut out the pieces, sewed them together. Obviously these tend to make longer looking shorts, and hers are very short, hot pants kind of style. So you will have to, after you kind of do initial sewing all the pieces together, literally put them on yourself and see how long it hangs down on your legs, and from that just fold up the fabric and hem it to the point where you think it looks like the right height for how hers look. I'm still kind of going back and forth on adjusting this because of the fact that, like I said, it ends up being way too long compared to what hers are. So that's why this isn't quite finished. I am still working on hemming it and finding the right adjustment. I'm not very good at putting zippers in, so I'm trying to make them so I can also just pull them up, which is a bit of a challenge. It's kind of working, but I don't know, I feel like the front part looks a little baggy when I put them on. So that's the only reason why I also haven't done a video on that, because so far I'm not getting it completely figured out right. And I think it's, I don't know, I had a little trouble figuring out the instructions. Some of you might be able to read them better than me, but it's kind of working. It's still working better than when I just tried to freestyle and wing it by laying my own shorts down, I think. Because at least now they actually do go on. The other pair doesn't really go on. So that's how far I have gotten. The next thing to be made then, in a sense, will be her sleeve here. Because on the one side she doesn't have any kind of sleeve. It's like an attachable sleeve because she's like this little, in a sense, I don't know if it's like a hook, a little, almost looks like a badge, but that's where her extra sleeve part attaches. So, and it's not a full sleeve. You can see, which is hard to tell in the figurine, but you can see her skin coming through. So it's kind of like a wraparound sleeve. So in a sense, like, it'll kind of be where you drape it, have it, and it'll be open in a sense, like that. So that's the next thing I'm going to try and figure out how to cut. So it does look like there is straps close to the elbow part. So for this kind of thing, I'm going to literally take my fabric, just hold it up to my arm. I mean, right now This seems to be about how it should be for wrapping around my arm wise. It doesn't even go all the way down to her wrist, but I'm going to cut it to my wrist so then I'll have that extra space to hem it up. So my wrist is like right around here. I'm just going to make sure I take note of that. Lay my fabric on the ground, as so. And then I'm just going to cut to where it felt like it's kind of my wrist area, and just cut straight so I can get more to the length it needs to be. So then that's where we cut that. You drape it back over. And it goes pretty high up though, her elbows. I don't know if I did that a little too short, but I do yet have extra fabric, but there we have it. It's starting in a sense to get together. It looks kind of like it makes a little shape right at her elbow that goes downwards. So I'm going to just, once again, lay the fabric down. I'm going to take my craft drawing chalk and just cut out how that shape seems like it would be, at least when I'm visually looking at it, how I'm perceiving it to look. So, I mean, everybody might perceive it differently. I'm going to try to make how far in it goes the same, so I'm just going to fold it over for a second, make the edges touch, see where I made my initial drawing line, hold my finger there, know that that's where I want to make my other yellow line, so that the cut open part is the same with inwards on both sides, so it looks even. And I like using this drawing artist chalk on the fabric because it washes off really easily. Then you can see what you're doing. So I think it looks like that kind of a shape. So that's what I'm going to cut out for that top upper half of it. And then once again, you'll want to sew up the edges if you want to, or you can use something called frayed check even, so that the seams where you cut don't keep, the material doesn't keep getting all nasty in a sense looking. So then I'm gonna put that on my arm again, see how that looks. I actually made that way too wide actually. So that's where I should have been potentially more conservative with my cutting. But I do yet have more fabric, so I can yet redo. But it's kind of the look we want to go for. I think it should have been a little more inwards, not so wide actually, this cut. It should actually be smaller looking. And at the bottom it also makes a little triangle formation, it looks like, by her wrist. So it looks as if you would take the fabric, draw upward a little, inward a little, make it straighten back out in a sense. Looks like you do that on both sides. What I would do to make it even, so I just once again fold my fabric, lay it flat, and then cut the shape that I made. So I get the same on both sides then of the sleeve. really should get my scissors sharpened because it used to work a lot nicer, but that's kind of the shape I made because that's kind of how it looks. And I look really closely at the bottom portion of her sleeve. It even looks like it kind of does a little bit at the top part. Like I said, I may have to redo this because I think I made that way too wide, but it's not bad. So then, looks like to do that part, does almost look like you would cut inwards a little bit, make it a little straighter, and kind of outward. So I'm going to say something a little bit like that. I don't think I'm getting that exactly accurate either. Well, that's where I'm always like, well, you kind of have to wing it when you do cosplay. But kind of get a little bit of a back and forth crisscrossy kind of a shape. But then obviously you just need to make a little strap part so it goes shut on your arm. But otherwise it's kind of looks how the sleeve would be to me. And you'd hem the edges as well, which, like I said, just means tucking it inwards and sewing. So kind of have the coat part now complete, kind of have the arm part complete. Like I said, I don't think I got this all perfect, but I've never been perfect at cosplay making, but that's just kind of how you'll give you all idea of how to go about doing this. Of course, do it whatever way you think you can improve upon, it works better for you if you figure out something along the way as you're doing it. This is kind of just like a little bit of a guideline to get you guys started. So, thank you for watching. This will be it for video 2. I will just probably be adding the gold trim next afterwards, and then we'll probably have to start working on making the breastplate and the gold kind of insignia on the back of the coat that she has. And there is a belt as well that we'll be working on, but kind of a good start. So, thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a meow-rific day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.